Did you know that most rooftop leaks in luxury builds aren't actually caused by a failing roof?
Right. It's usually the stuff installed on top of the roof.
Exactly. They're caused by the beautiful glass railings that are meant to protect them. So today we're jumping into a really interesting exploration into the source material regarding a specialized toolkit. It's called the Home Builders Pack from Elite Balustrade Systems.
Yeah, and our mission here is to unpack how you can, balance high-end aesthetics with the honestly grueling technical requirements of safety and waterproofing.
Because if you're the one signing off on a project's warranty, a stylish finish is just completely worthless if water starts creeping into the insulation like 3 years down the line.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the ultimate trade-off, right? To get a safety barrier strong enough to actually meet building regs, you usually have to bolt it deep into the structure.
Right, which is terrifying if you have a sealed roof.
Exactly. If you're working with a tanked roof or a waterproof membrane, every single bolt is basically a potential leak waiting to happen.
So the insight that EBS brings to the table isn't just, a better bolt.
No, it's a way to avoid piercing the skin of the building entirely, which is huge.
Okay, well, let's unpack that. I've been thinking about this, like trying to hang a really heavy, ornate mirror on the side of a camping tent during a rainstorm.
That is a very stressful visual.
Right. Like if you poke a hole in the fabric to hang the mirror, you're getting wet. There's no way around it. So how do they actually maintain structural integrity without puncturing that membrane?
Well, to build on your tent analogy,
Yeah.
imagine if instead of pinning the mirror to the fabric, you clipped it to the tent's internal poles.
Oh, okay. So you bypass the fabric entirely.
Exactly. EBS uses this integrated aluminium decking subframe that just sits on top of the waterproof layer.
Wait, it just sits on top. It doesn't bolt down at all.
It doesn't bolt into the roof itself, no. The balustrade is physically locked into this subframe rather than the building's joists.
Huh.
Yeah. So by connecting the rail directly to this sort of skeleton, you're turning the entire floor into a single rigid plate.
Oh, I see. So the weight of the decking and the subframe acts as the anchor itself.
You got it. It's just physics providing the stability so you don't have to rely on a puncture-prone seal.
Wow. So the aha moment here is really that the floor itself is the ballast.
Right, which completely eliminates the water ingress issue because you're keeping the membrane perfectly intact.
That's incredibly clever. But let's look at the actual range of products because they're talking about everything from frameless glass and Juliet balconies to like full retractable glass screens.
Yeah, they have a lot of options.
But does this no-pierce philosophy actually scale to all those different, heavier designs?
It does, yeah. And honestly, that's why the versatility of the system matters so much. Because
Yeah.
they've solved that fundamental seal issue, they can apply it to much heavier and more complex installations.
Like the retractable screens.
Exactly. Think about those retractable glass balustrades. They act as windscreens or privacy barriers, right?
Yeah, and they must catch a ton of wind.
Right. Normally, the wind load on a tall glass screen like that would require massive structural anchors driven right into the roof.
Which means poking holes.
Lots of holes. But because this system distributes that wind load across the entire aluminium subframe, you can have those premium features on a rooftop terrace without turning your roof into a block of Swiss cheese.
Okay, I have to push back a little on the bespoke side of this.
Sure, go ahead.
Usually when a supplier says bespoke and, integrated ecosystem, I just hear that this is going to be an absolute nightmare to install.
Oh, sure. Contractors hear that and run.
Exactly. If you're a contractor on site on a Tuesday morning, what are you actually doing differently with this kit? Like, does it require a specialized team, or is this easy install thing just a marketing buzzword?
I get that, but it's really about pre-engineering the headache away before the parts even reach the site.
Okay, how so?
Well, instead of a builder having to figure out the math of load distribution on site, the kit arrives as a synchronized system. The bespoke part happens back in the design phase.
Oh, so EBS does the heavy lifting up front.
Right. They provide the technical advice to ensure the balustrade and the tanked roof are going to work as a single unit.
So for the person on the tools, it's really just an assembly job.
Exactly. It's not a structural engineering puzzle anymore. You're just following a blueprint where the parts are designed to click together.
Which completely respects the builder's time while still hitting those stylish and elegant requirements for the client.
Yes, it's a tailor-made solution that meets full building requirements without the on-site stress.
So we're essentially moving away from balustrades as an afterthought, like something you just bolt on at the end of a project.
Yeah, and toward them being a foundational part of the building's water management strategy.
Which is wild to think about. You get the frameless look, but the peace of mind that the structural skin is still 100% sealed.
It really comes down to risk mitigation. You're protecting the building's lifespan by ensuring your safety barrier isn't the reason the ceiling below starts rotting in 5 years.
Well, we've really explored how these systems act as a bridge between the architectural dream and the practical reality of keeping a building dry.
It's a huge step forward for rooftop builds for sure.
It really is. But as our urban spaces get more vertical and, rooftop living becomes the norm, I want to leave everyone with a final thought to mull over.
Let's hear it.
In a world of complex, tanked architecture, will the unbroken seal eventually become a more important safety metric than the actual strength of the glass itself? Think about that. We'll see you next time.